Hey you guys, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. This is Uncle P from Super Easy Forex, and in today's video, I'm going to go over some very important information this week to let you guys know. This week, if you ever wanted to go on vacation, which by the way, it's so funny, I'm actually going on vacation this week, starting on Thursday. But the point is that if you ever decided that, hey, I just want to take a break from the markets, this will be the week to do it. There's monster news coming out this week, so make sure to pay attention to everything I'm going over. And I'll show you actually something that I've done that you can duplicate so that it'll make it easier on you when you're trading. Here we go. Let's get to the news first. So first of all, of course, you know, I go to my FX book and I click on their economic calendar, and it takes me right here to this screen. After that, I click on this week, and I typically do this every Sunday so that in advance I will know what kind of news events are coming out for this entire week, so that I'll know which currency pairs to avoid, or whether to avoid the market altogether, which, by the way, this week is one of those I probably won't trade too much because of the news events that's coming up. So I clicked on here, and as I go through here, I stop by. Now, there's going to be a lot of red envelopes. I don't pay attention to all of them, but there are some that stands out, such as inflation rates, such as interest rates, things like that. They stand out. Now, I told you guys that I did something very easy to make it a whole lot easier on myself. We do give you a cheat sheet when you sign up in our simplicity system, but all the news events that we look for, you can just simply print it out. It's in a PDF format. Sorry about the little phone thing. It's in a PDF format. So as soon as you sign up for the simplicity system, just go through the tutorials and you see the manual that you print out, and you'll see some other printouts that are free. Okay, price action charts and stuff like that. All right, watch this. What I did was I simply created myself a simple PDF form or a sales form, and I clicked here and just put in these little 3 categories. So right before I take a trade, I can just go right here. It's already on my desktop, and there you go. Now, the other way I used to do it was with a whiteboard that you can hang on your wall. So whether you like to do it manually by having a whiteboard, or whether you want to do it on a sheet like this, which is an online document where you can just have it right there on your computer anywhere you go, there you go as well. Okay, so I'm going to go through here, and as you can see, there's a lots of news events every single week, but I don't pay attention to all of them. So for what we're going to do to cut down on the time of this video, as far as going through all of this stuff, I narrowed it down to the main ones that it's very concerning to me. Let's go to my sheet and we'll make it simple. On Tuesday, we have the euro coming out with their inflation numbers. And as I told you guys, inflation rates are driving interest rates right now. Inflation rates are driving interest rates, not the other way around. So when the inflation numbers come back terrible, they end up trying to fix that by raising interest rates. That's pretty much how all they're doing, okay? Inflation goes high, interest rates go high. Inflation go low, they're supposed to lower the interest rates as well to keep in step to cool down the inflation. Unfortunately for you and I, who are regular people, regardless of which way they're trying to play it, when the inflation rates go up, prices go up for us. When they raise interest rates over here, prices go up over here for us. So what's the benefit for us? Anyway, moving on. So they have it on Tuesday and Wednesday because in the Eurozone, it's the Eurozone. There's a lot of different semi-countries or smaller countries that works as a network within the Eurozone, similar to what we call the United States, because I know we have a lot of people around the globe who watch this in the United States, but you have Texas, you have Arkansas, you have Georgia, you have Washington, you have Florida, and we have around 51 different states, but they combine equal the United States of America. So when we say the United States of America, it's united because it's all these different semi-small ecological countries that have their own network, their own thing, but we all work within a partnership called the United States. So the same thing in the Eurozone, they have all these different networks of countries, but they all work under one umbrella company called the Eurozone. Okay, so that's the reason why sometimes you'll see repeated, when you're checking for news, you'll see repeated news events because it's taking it into account this sector and then this sector and then this sector of the Eurozone. Okay, So that's why you see repeated information. And so on Tuesday, we have the euro coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday with inflation numbers. Now, that will possibly not affect the US or the AUD or the NZD or gold or whatever, because it's just primarily for the Eurozone. The euro is not widely accepted as a global economy, as a global currency. So therefore, it's just going to possibly affect them or the GBP. We'll see. Okay. But I don't anticipate it affecting other pairs. So if it was me trading during this time when the inflation numbers are coming out for them, I will possibly go look at some AUD pairs, some NZD pairs, the USD, anything that has nothing to do with the Eurozone or the GBP. All right. Therefore, the next one that's on the list that is huge, is Wednesday's USD federal interest rate announcement. Now, here's what typically happens. Historically, it could be different. Do your own due diligence. But here's the point. The fact is that typically, I don't expect a lot of movement in the market when this is the biggest announcement of all announcements that come out, in my opinion, in the markets, is when the Feds are announcing their interest rate. Because since currently, and I say that currently, the US dollar is still widely accepted around the world, even though around the world, a lot of countries are already finding alternative methods, and they're trying to put that in place right now to get rid of using the dollar as the global currency. They're striking deals like Saudi Arabia is talking about, hey, we'll sell our oil in this, and you got other countries doing the same, the BRICS, and they're making decisions on how they're going to get rid of letting the dollar be king, which could be a huge economic collapse for the U.S., but that's a different story. We're not talking bad stuff today. The sun is shining. It's a wonderful day. The Final Four for the Super Bowl is coming up today. Why talk about bad stuff? What's the point, right? All right, so let's get away from the bad talk. Let's stick to this story for the meantime. Okay, here we go. Currently, the U.S. dollar is still being widely accepted as the #1 king of currencies around the globe, okay? And because of that, anything that goes on with the U.S. dollar, it impacts countries' economies around the world, okay? And you can kind of see why the other countries saying, you know what, the heck with y'all dollar, we're going to find something else. So that when y'all have y'all's problem over there, just like we have our private problems we got to deal with over here, y'all can deal with your private problems over there. So we'll find an alternative route, okay? But the point is, remember I said I'm not going to be negative, so let me stick to what I said. All right, here we go. So the point is, currently we are still king in the U.S. The dollar is still king of currency. So whenever the U.S. catches a cold, the others... I forgot how I said that. Let me repeat that. Whenever the U.S. sneezes, other countries catch a cold. That's the way it's supposed to be said. Whenever the U.S. sneezes, other countries catch a cold. In other words, whatever happens here in the U.S. with the U.S. dollar, it affects the other countries, no matter whether they liked it or not. Okay, so here's the deal. Typically, up until this news event happens, I have seen historically, do your own due diligence, historically, the other countries don't trade a whole lot. The banks and institutions, they tend to, now I'm not saying the market won't move, but it won't move a whole lot generally of itself because it's all waiting for this news event. And funny thing is, over the last 2 weeks, if you have been watching the markets and you've been having sporadic results when you typically run the real smooth and you've been trading and everything been running smooth, but now over the last 2 weeks have been hectic, I've been watching that behaviorally. And because you guys know I'm a behavioral trader, okay, not just a fundamental, not just a price action, but I'm a third category that is not even listed, which is a behavioralist, okay? And I watch the behavioral patterns like you would watch a serial killer's patterns, okay? They have a certain pattern that they do. And typically up until the news event, the big kahuna, the markets begin to get real jittery, real choppy and so forth. And this is what you've been seeing over the last 2 weeks, which is why I told my students, if you've been having choppy results of any sort, whether you're using my trading system or anybody else's, don't take it personally. It's the market's unease because they start their behavioral patterns weeks in advance when the retail trader does theirs the day before. Okay, so the markets I have been watching has been very jittery over the last 2 weeks leading up to this. And so the closer it gets to this announcement, the worse it's going to get as far as choppy sloppiness, you know what I mean? Consolidation patterns and so forth. Okay, so again, this is why I'm warning you. You might want to just take this week off and just watch the markets. But again, if you just feel the need to trade, just do your due diligence as far as money management. Okay, very, very small lot sizes. This is not the week to think you're going to take $100 and flip it into $1 million. A lot of traders think that they actually can do that in a week. But if you think you can flip $100 into $1 million in a week, okay, this ain't going to be the week to try that foolishness. So don't do it, okay? Let's move on. So until this is announced, I do expect the markets to run probably a little bit slower and choppier. Again, there may be some movements here or there on certain pairs, but that's typically going to be because they had a news event of some sort that caused their pair to move. But overall, I don't expect the market to go in its natural flow, okay, until this is done. Now, moving on, right after you get slapped in the face with this one, then the GBP comes out with their interest rate news. And then right after that, and that's on Thursday. Okay, so you get Wednesday news. It's going to be a huge spike one way or the other. By the way, they're anticipating that the Feds are possibly not going to raise the interest rate as high as they normally would, which is about 75 basis points or about 0.75. They're thinking that they may be a little bit gentler this time, which is 0.25. That may happen, may not. The markets are, as you can see, if you trade in the markets, the US 30 or whatever, you've been seeing they've been on the rise over the last 2 weeks. See, they're already pre-acting according to what they think is going to happen 2 weeks in advance. So that's the reason why you've seen the US 30 and the S&P 500 and others kind of slowly migrating their way up into positive territory, because people are thinking, okay, we think the Feds are going to be polite this time and not raise the interest rates as high as they've been doing, because it's helping to collapse the economy. I wanted to, and I'll show you guys something very quickly after this, so make sure you hang tight. I want to show you something. 2023 is not as bright, in my opinion, as people think it's going to be, okay? It already started in 2022. The problem I'm going to introduce to you guys for 2023 is just going to be a carryover because of what's going on, all right? But watch this. So now, as soon as the Feds get done with their interest rates, the markets spike all over the place, and then you have to wait for them to settle out. Then you get slapped again with the GBP. GBP comes out, and they come out with their numbers. Then you get slapped again. Turn the other cheek, Jesus said. Turn the other cheek. How many cheeks I got? I got to turn up my butt cheeks now, right? Because these two cheeks got slapped. My butt cheeks got slapped. Okay, well, better yet, the Feds already slapped my butt cheeks. Now, GBP, US, the Euro, I'm getting slapped all over the place. Do you see why I said stay away from trading this week, especially if you're a newbie? All right, let's keep it going. Now, after all that slapping get done, you ain't got no more cheeks because you got birth with 4 of them. This one, and the 2 you're sitting on. Okay, so you got slapped already. All right. Well, I guess, you know what? The Feds is going to take out 2 cheeks. Okay, 2 cheeks, but we can say you take out 1, all right? Then you have this cheek, and then you get slapped on the 4th one. Here it is, non-farm payroll, USD from non-farm payroll. This is the second biggest announcement that typically comes out that can shake up the markets. This is the job numbers for the U.S., and the stronger the U.S. market is, the better off it is for the global economy, because guess what? We can continue to spend money on y'all everywhere we go, because that's what we do. We don't really develop or ship or export anything. We're just a consumer nation, and we buy everybody else's goods and services. We go on vacation at everybody else's places. Do you get what I'm saying? So everybody is profiting off of the U.S., but that means that the job market has to be stable so that the Feds can continue doing their thing. You guys in different countries can prosper off of our splurging, and the world continues to go as it is. There's another problem coming up, though, which is called the debt ceiling. I think that's coming up, and God forbid if they don't get that fixed, because guess what? We are so far out of paying our bills. And yet the funny thing is, and I better shut this video down, the funny thing is, if you don't pay your taxes, you don't pay your bills, people foreclose, they repo, the government can seize your accounts and everything else, and yet they're constantly raising their credit limit on their own because they don't pay. Okay, all right, this is it. So let me get to the next thing, and this closes video. All right, so here's the deal. In 2022, there were thousands, and I shared that data with you guys already, about the thousands of jobs that have been lost due to what? Inflation and interest rates. The higher the raise, the inflation goes, the more you see your prices. This is why bacon and eggs and everything else have went through the roof. And this is why a lot of companies started raising their prices. Your landlord raised their rents, your car loans, everything went up, 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 up. Okay, like it was Superman or something, right? So in addition to that, the companies who could afford to raise their prices and keep in step were doing okay. But now that earnings season is coming out, which by the way, Amazon is coming out, I think this week coming up, Google and some other ones, they're coming up pretty soon with their earnings. Okay, that's going to be huge and rock the market as well. And what is going on is they already started doing massive layoffs in these companies. Okay, massive layoffs. This is why you got to find a second hustle fairly quickly. Okay, you got to, because your jobs are not dependable like you think. All right, so here's some of the other companies that are coming up in this year: IBM, Spotify, 3M, Microsoft, Salesforce, Coinbase, the cryptocurrency space, BlackRock, and there are others. One of the ones that I told my wife, I've already told her, I said there's a lot of movies that are now going online instead of going to the theater at your local theater. This is why you get crappy movies at the theater now, along with crappy popcorn. I said, babe, it's just a matter of time before they go out of business. And look who's doing layoffs as well. Look at Binance, which Binance had some bad news this week. I'm not going to go over that for time's sake, but look at this, you guys. Let me get down to it. Morgan Stanley, There's a bunch of companies that's doing layoffs. DoorDash, they're doing layoffs. Kraken, H&M, reverse mortgaging. Hold on, AMC, right here. Look at that. Even the old movie theater, laying off 20% of their workforce. United Furniture, 2,700 people. Farms, Alphabet, 10,000 people. And this is coming up. That's in addition to all the layoffs they did last year. And this is just in the first quarter. This ain't for the whole year. This is just the first quarter. Look at this list. It goes on and on and on. Look at this. Amazon. Twitter. Look at this. This is crazy. On and on and on. And I don't have enough time to go through all of it. My point is, guys, you got to start shoring up your own path to protect yourself and your family. Get a side hustle, trade, do whatever you want to do to make sure that you're taking care of your family. And one of the biggest things is to stop splurging on things you really don't need. Okay? Do not splurge on things you don't need. Stop trying to go for the Gucci bags, the red bottom shoes, and this and that, just try to show up to your friends when you could have put that money up and saved it in case of a rainy day. All right? All right, you guys. Last but not least, if you want to join Super Easy Forex, just go to our website, superezforex.com. And if you want to join our signal service, you can just click right here where we can send you out some signals, and you'll be able to attend the live sessions with six-figure earner and six-figure coach, Miss Jenny, who has been doing a phenomenal job, and that's in addition to the signal services. But if you want to join just to get into our regular trading system, which you see on the screen, Simplicity System, just click right here on the join button. It'll take you right here, and you'll be able to join right in, and you'll be in class with me, and I will see you in class next week. Okay, you guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go watch some football and have a good day with my wife. Talk to y'all later. Thank you very much.